Hello Aries and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a reading for February 2023 looking at your recent past, current energy, and immediate future. As you can see, I've already gone ahead and pulled the oracle cards and clarified those. I have the overall energy for the reading. We'll dive into tarot, and then I have the decks that I'll be using in the extended. Any information on this extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing is that please remember these are general readings. They will not resonate for everyone. So please remember to take what resonates and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. All right, Aries, in your recent past, you have reflect on your priorities with the High Priestess. Your recent past was a lot of one-on-one time with your higher self. Now, I don't even know if you fully realize that, but I feel like, you could have been receiving messages and guidance and just ultimately, perspective shifts that are getting you. This whole reading is about some sort of rebirth. I'll talk about that, but it's in this overall energy. It's about releasing resistance to some sort of rebirth here. There's some inner work that's needed. There always is, right? But I do feel like the result of what you're looking for is absolutely possible. In your current energy, however, you have focus on the positive with the King of Wands in reverse. Right now, you are really struggling with some doubt. Self-doubt, doubt in the universe, doubt in your manifestations, doubt in somebody or something else. Just a lot of doubt. And right now is a time to make sure that you don't allow that doubt to get in the way of your path. Our faith is tested a lot when we're on this path to trying to manifest our dreams. And so I definitely understand that, and I feel for you, and I feel like this is a big time to be able to make that conscious decision where you don't choose to believe in doubt, right? Now, of course, that's not as easy as it sounds, but you have the overall energy of this reading as resistance and rebirth. So that's why I said there's some sort of resistance when it comes to this rebirth, and then you have this do the work. So that's that inner work that's needed. This card says it's not enough to dream or pray. You've also got to take the positive action steps that you are being divinely guided to take. Consistently working on your priorities will make them flourish. So this really is about making sure that your energy is being directed to the right things in the right way. And when I say in the right way, making sure that the energy behind it is not chasing energy, it's not fearful energy, but it's, faithful energy and excitement and passionate. Because that's ultimately the goal, right? Is to enjoy the journey, enjoy the process. And I feel like right now you're kind of struggling with that aspect. Now, usually when that's the case, it's because you're dealing with a lot of fear. And that's always going to happen on this path. And so that's totally okay. But right now is a time to make sure that you do not allow your fear to get in the way of where you're trying to go. Your immediate future is breathe through the tension with the Justice in reverse. Your immediate future is facing this level of, okay, I am not living the life that I deserve. What do I need to do to start to live the life I deserve? If you're not living the life of your dreams, it's because there's a level of you that believes that it isn't possible. And so that's ultimately what you're dealing with on a higher level. But we will dive in and start breaking it down. Let's see, Aries. Looking at Aries' recent past, clarifying, reflect on your priorities with the High Priestess. Recent past for Aries. I feel like you were doing a lot of, there it is. You were doing a lot of reflecting on, this Ace of Wands in reverse is exactly it. On this level of, am I investing in things that make me happy, or am I investing in what I feel like I need to survive? Getting out of that, because there's that King of Pentacles in reverse. That's the tendency to focus a little bit too much on the material world as opposed to how to create your material world. Now, that's so normal, and we've got to face a lot of these beliefs in order to get to a point where we can release them. But I feel like your recent past was a lot. This right here, this Magician in reverse, is working through doubt of your manifestations. I feel like there's an opportunity or something that you want to pursue, or I don't know, a certain path that's opening up for you. But there's a level of, this is 2 cards already in this reading of doubt. And this Justice in reverse is a lack of receiving what you deserve. And so right now is a time, your recent past in particular, but I feel like it's still kind of, in your current energy, it's a time of really focusing on making sure that what you're investing in is what you want to be investing in. it's what sets your heart on fire. Our passions are the roadmap to our destiny. And if we need to take a leap of faith to pursue our passions or whatever the case might be, that absolutely might be the case for you. But I ultimately just feel like this is a level of needing to have a little bit more faith in yourself, no matter how hard that is. I do understand that that's not an easy feat by any means. Reset past for Aries, clarifying, reflect on your priorities with the High Priestess. I feel like you're doing a pretty good job at trying to listen to yourself over your fear, which is exactly what you need to be doing. But remember, if this is a cycle or if you're breaking out of a fear, the closer you get to breaking out of that fear, the more intense it's going to feel as you get close to breaking through that. So if you're dealing with a lot of fear and a lot of doubt right now, keep the faith, because I really feel like you're going to start to watch some things come together for you. All right, recent past for Aries. My goodness. Recent past for Aries, please. Okay. You were dealing with this 5 of Swords energy and the 7 of Cups energy in your recent past. I got you. Because this 5 of Cups, or did I say 5 of Cups? I meant 5 of Swords. I might have said 5 of Swords, and then I said 7 of Cups. Okay. 5 of Swords energy is really me against the world mentality. It's this feeling that the universe doesn't have my back, that I have to always be in a place of survival instead of a place of thriving. And of course we think that way because that's what we've experienced, right? So it's not to say that you're not justified in your belief in that sense, but remember that this whole journey is about retraining ourselves to believe in alignment with faith as opposed to in alignment with fear. And we fear what we've experienced. So if your whole life has been, oh my gosh, I'm constantly needing to, fight for every little thing that I need, you have been living in that survival mode, burning yourself out, spinning your wheels, just feeling like you're not getting anywhere. And you don't have to live like that. You don't have to live in that survival mode. But because you believe that, and have believed to this point, that survival mode is all there really is, there's been this level of being very overwhelmed and confused about which way to go, which direction to invest your energy, because I feel like there's a level of, well, I'm passionate about this. I'm passionate about this path that I want to take, but that's also going to be really risky because maybe my finances, will need, will take a hit, or whatever the case might be, making sure that you understand that you will always be supported and loved on the journey to your path. When you're in alignment, the universe always has your back. I mean, the universe has your back anyway, but when you're not in alignment, the universe is trying to do everything it can to get you in alignment so that it can, support you on your path. And so I feel like that's a lot of what you've been dealing with is the universe is trying to pull you away from what doesn't serve you, pull you away from the doubt, pull you away from the control, and get you into into alignment on the path, which is in alignment with ultimately what you're wanting to create. So your recent past, I feel like there was a lot of like confusion or just being overwhelmed with a decision or multiple decisions or whatever the case might be. And I feel like you are handling it very well. I will say that. Like, I feel like your energy is, yes, you're dealing with a lot. You're dealing with overwhelm. You're dealing with doubt. That stuff is natural. It's going to happen. But I do feel, because you have the High Priestess upright, not reversed. So I do feel like you are really, really trying to listen to your intuition and listen to your gut feeling on this. And I feel like this reading is about learning to not just learning, but really trusting your gut right now. Trusting what you know, not what you fear or, feel, I think is going to be the most important. And it's that inner knowing, right? It's not the intellectual level of knowing that I'm talking about. It's that inner deep, like, I know this is meant for me kind of feeling. Recent past here for Aries. Recent past for Aries. Yep, because there's an opportunity right there. Page of Pentacles in reverse with the Nine of Wands in reverse. There's an opportunity that you want. And it's yours. It is absolutely yours. But there's this, you're to be quite honest with you, there's a reason you haven't been investing in this fully. And it's because there's this level of doubt that you don't want to bring in to the manifestation. That's why the universe makes us work through a lot of our doubt and a lot of our fear before we actually get there, is because we do have to get to a point where we're able to not just attract our manifestations, but sustain it, so that we don't sabotage it out of fear, later on, with, say, something to the tune of imposter syndrome. Or even if you're trying to attract some sort of a relationship, you get in that relationship, but you're still dealing with past relationship fears that you don't want to bring into that current relationship, and end up sabotaging it away. When we're talking about manifesting things that are in alignment with us, the universe is very, very picky about when we're able to receive those things. Divine timing is very heavily at play for you right now. And I feel like that's why right now you have this focus on do the work. Where is this resistance coming from? Do the work, because that's going to be the biggest, I guess, like the biggest benefit, I guess, to you. Like, it's going to be the easier for you to focus on within right now than to focus on your external environment. All right, current energy for Aries. So we're dealing with this King of Wands in reverse. This King of Wands in reverse has been in a lot of readings recently, and this really is your like doubt in your ability to pursue the things that you're passionate about. And remember, 95% of our movements, choices, and decisions are subconscious. Only 5% of the way that we interact with our environment is conscious. And so there's a level here of maybe you're not fully consciously aware of this self-doubt. And maybe that's why it's so frustrating for you, because you're like, no, I can really do this. Like, I really believe in myself, but you're still retraining that 95% of you to really, truly be in alignment with that. And that takes work. It takes facing your fear with faith and not believing it, things of that nature. So yeah, you are. There it is. I said you didn't have the High Priestess in reverse in your past. You are starting to doubt yourself a little bit more in your current energy, because you have the Three of Cups now in reverse with the High Priestess in reverse, because things aren't coming together right now. But with the Nine of Swords in reverse, you're working through a lot of your anxiety and fear of them never coming together. And honestly, it's kind of that unfortunate reality, because the other card that came with focus on the positive was like, take a reality check. And it's not necessarily that your dreams are outlandish or that you're never going to get to where you're trying to go. It's that you have to understand the reality of the situation is we have to face a lot of our fear to overcome it, so that we don't deal with that whenever we do start to bring, our manifestations into reality. And so just because things aren't coming together for you right now, it does not mean that they're not going to, and it does not mean that it's going to be a difficult path to get there. It can be a challenging path, but it doesn't have to be painful. Now that's up to us, right? Whether we believe in our pain or we believe in our faith. But ultimately what I'm seeing here is this level of just really needing, you have focus on the positive, and it sounds so like, just be positive, right? Like, just focus on the positive. And you're like, well, all of the shit is going wrong in my life, and I have all of these things that that aren't coming together, and I'm struggling financially, and my relationships don't feel like they're, blah, blah, blah. So how can I focus on the positive? It feels like there's nothing positive. Trust me, I get it. And that's the hardest part of this journey, is having faith when it really feels like there is no reason to have faith. That's how we build faith, right? And I'm not talking about faith in a certain God or faith in, anything in particular. I'm just talking about faith, whether that's God, the universe, your angels, your higher self, whatever it is that resonates with you. Just have a little faith in it. Have a little faith in yourself, ultimately, right? In your path, and in the fact that you wouldn't feel so pulled to doing the things that you were passionate about if there was no point, right? Current energy here for Aries. The universe is always conspiring for us, not against us. And if it feels like it's conspiring against you, then it's trying to pull you away from things that don't serve you. Yeah, you are dealing with a lot of fear right now. And there's the friction. This well in reverse is this frustration that keeps things from being able to flow. Now, understand that that's why it's so frustrating for you right now, because it goes back to that 95%, 5% thing that I was talking about, where right now you're dealing with a lot of subconscious fear. And so for you, it just feels irritating. It feels frustrating. It does feel scary, absolutely, but it's not necessarily that it's not happening. It's that your fear is getting in your way. Remember, we are the only people that can get in our own way, but it's, that's that 95% that you don't really have that conscious control over. So you are kind of getting in your own way right now by creating, you have resistance. So there's this resistance to allowing things to flow. There is a rebirth here, this opportunity to step into your power, step into your path, start to manifest, abundance for yourself in all forms, but it's going to take doing the inner work, guys. One of my biggest frustrations with this tarot community, and there's nothing wrong with, hopeful readings, but when you're just watching the readings that say everything's coming together and tomorrow is going to be the best day of your life and then you're going to be rich and all this stuff, and you're not focusing on doing the inner work, you're going to be stuck in that cycle of always leaning on hope to get you through the present moment. And then that leads to disappointment whenever you're not actually facing that present moment and dealing with what's in front of you. Now, I say that because I fell into that trap for a really long time. There's this, as a tarot reader and looking kind of at the higher level picture, I can't actually tell you what your future holds. I can tell you where your trajectory is. I can tell you what you're in alignment with right now, but it's up to you to make sure that you either stay in alignment or raise your vibration, or, if you lower your vibration, it's going to be different. It just really comes down to realizing that you are in control of your path. You are the one that manifests what you want. You are the one that's in control of your relationship with money and yourself that reflects into your external environment. And so that's why, right now with the focus on the positive, it's really easy when things aren't working out for you to get down on yourself and start to be like, oh, this is so frustrating. Nothing is ever coming together. And I feel like I put all this energy into things and it just doesn't pay off. It's really easy to get caught in that negative kind of, loop there, that negative spiral, but you've got to try at your hardest areas to pull yourself out of it or to stay above it as much as you can during this time, because you really are dealing with a lot of fear right now. Current energy for Aries. But your fear is just an emotion, just like any other emotion. It just needs to be processed. It doesn't need to be believed. Current energy for Aries. There's the well in reverse. That's funny. We just talked about that. Maybe this is the thing. You had this Ace of Wands in reverse, right? Talking about this kind of reevaluation of pursuing the things that you're passionate about. But your passion is what is going to lead you to where you're trying to go in the first place. And there's this level of almost like not allowing yourself to fully invest in what it is that makes you happy. And it's a lack of hope, right? Not even just hope, but doubt. But doubt usually stems from a lack of hope. Now, when I talk about hope, I talked about getting kind of stuck in that hope cycle. This isn't me saying don't have hope, all right? Absolutely have hope, but have hope that's rooted in faith, not hope that's rooted in expectation. The universe is always conspiring for us. It's always leading us closer and closer to our dreams, but it doesn't always look like you want it to. It's like what you think you want it to right now, but it's going to look, if you allow it to happen, if you allow it to come to fruition, you're going to get to a point where you're like, wow, I'm really glad that things played out the way they did. And that, what I originally thought I wanted didn't happen. It's kind of that idea that like, if things don't work out or aren't working out, then that means that you're being protected from what you don't deserve. Now there's that flip side of like, if you're building something and it's taking time to build and you're getting frustrated that it's not, building as quickly or as powerfully as you want it to, that's just a little bit of trusting the process and keeping the faith. You've got to take this as it resonates. All right. Immediate future for Aries. Immediate future for Aries. Your immediate future, it's almost a lot of learning that where the most powerful energy that we have is our emotional energy. And what we give emotion to is typically what we create. So if we give emotion to anger and frustration and lack and those things, typically we create more of that. Now, when you're in lack, it's really hard. That's why you have focus on the positive right now. When you feel like you're in a place of lack, there's that need to switch it a little bit and try to tap into to gratitude and appreciation for where you're at in the journey today. Now, this is where you have to get on board with the idea that you right now you're kind of living for this idea that when I get there, I'll be happy. When I get there, all of my problems will go away. Honestly, you're dealing with all of your problems through getting there. So appreciate the journey for what it is, because when you get there, you'll be able to say, oh, wow, I worked through so much to get here. And that's the whole point, right? The journey is the whole point. And so your immediate future is a lot of needing to be very, very conscious about where you're directing your emotional energy. Immediate future. Oh, goodness. Sorry, give me just 1 second. Immediate future for Aries. Immediate future for Aries. Yeah, I've seen a couple cards now. Like, what card did I just see? Two of Swords in reverse. Your immediate future is kind of taking like a need to slow down and process. Slow down and process. I feel like that's really what you're missing here, Aries. I just realized this table's crooked. That's driving me crazy. You got to slow down and process your emotions. Slow down and process the journey for where you're at. Slow down and process the frustration. The frustration and the fear, it's always going to be there. It's not going to just go away. It's not going to just, especially when you get to your manifestation, it's not going to go away. It's always going to be there. So that's why the journey is about learning not to believe it, learning to tap into faith over fear, transmuting that faith to fear transmuting that fear to faith so that you can say, yes, I'm fearful of these things happening, but I have faith in the opposite. And I feel like that's really what your immediate future is about, is taking the time to process your emotions, process where you're at in the journey, be grateful for the moment so that you can learn that, you are creating the next moment through this current moment. And that's going to be the most important thing, is learning that it's not about going, oh, wow, I really hope this works out, crossing your fingers. It's about creating your world. And that takes a lot of mental energy and a lot of emotional, consciously directing your emotional energy to the right places. Immediate future for Aries. Because remember, you have to do the work. Do the work, Aries. Do the work and the rest will come. King of Wands in reverse. Four of Pentacles in reverse. Four of Wands in reverse. Your doubt is what is creating this lack of stability. So that's why you're having to work through so much of your doubt right now. Is because whether or not you realize it, those deep-rooted fears is what is creating this lack of, and that could be financial stability, emotional stability, whatever it feels like. It just feels like you can't catch a break. Feels like you can't catch a break, Aries. And just know that your doubt within itself is causing that. And that's a hard truth, right? That's a really, really hard truth to come to terms with. And I will say, like in the book, The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, there's a part that talks about that exact thing, where when you can become radically honest with yourself and you can say, I am responsible for the fact that I'm not living the life of my dreams today because of my past thoughts, beliefs, and actions, then what that means is you can now be consciously involved in the creation of your future. But you've got to take that responsibility and say, you know what? Okay, there's something going on. There's something inside me that's making me not believe this. And I'm going to need to address that, heal that, release that, so that I can start to create better for myself. Because this King of Wands in reverse has now come up twice in both decks here. This is really saying, hey, this is talking about kind of flipping that King of Wands on its head and pursuing, what you want with confidence and with passion and with certainty that, I'm on the right path. I'm a good person. I deserve good things. Therefore, I know that I am always going to be taken care of on this path to my dreams. But you got to do the work. Can't get there without doing the work. All right, Aries, we're going to hop on over to the extended. I'm going to clarify these messages, dive a lot deeper into them, and then I have an actual advice card to pull from Spirit at the end. Thank you guys so much, as always, for the support of this channel. It means the absolute world to me. I wish you guys absolutely nothing but the best in 2023, and I look forward to potentially seeing you in future readings. All right, bye, Aries.